I'm Francesca Piatto, and I'm Issue Project Officer at the ERSC, the European Association of Remote Sensing Companies in Brussels. And we're welcoming today to this webinar hosted by ERSC and NOAA, the National Observatory of Athens, in collaborations with Evenflow and Armin, which are the partners of our eshape project. And of the table today, we do have indeed the Call for Your-Based Products 2021 Q&A info sessions in the framework of the launch of the second onboarding process in order to integrate new partners in the eshape consortium and also new pilots in the 7 thematic showcases. I will go through just a very quick practical guidelines and house rules. So I was hearing some Italians before, so unless you're speaking, please keep yourself muted and do make use of the chat to make questions during our presentations. And of course, raise your hand if you wish to make a questions during the final Q&A at the end of our webinar. Of course, the webinar is recorded, so we will share that, and we will share it for promotional purposes on the eshape social media and on the other ones of the partners. And as well, please keep your video off in case you don't want to be in case you don't want to be filmed. Just to have a quick overview of today's agenda. So we are basically starting now with a short introduction of what eshape is and the current call. Then we are going to have the first two eshape experts, Nico Toms, Senior Consultant and Innovation Experts from Evenflow, and Mathieu Reboul, Head of the EU Department at Armin and of the eshape project. Then I will proceed with a second dedicated Q&A by myself. Then we will have our communication specialist and leader of the communication team, Eleni and Mirka, who will give a short demo about the communication tool help desk. And then we will have a final Q&A where we will take questions from the audience and a conclusion. So to give a short introduction about what eshape is. So eshape is the Euro Showcase applications powered by Europe. And it's a project that develops operational service with and for the users by leveraging Copernicus and European capabilities, existing capabilities, in order to improve the user uptake of data from European assets in the group of Earth observation context in order to foster the economic sustainability. eshape address GEO's priorities, the societal challenges supporting the sustainable development, and also built on the EU Geo actions, initiatives and flagships, as well as to the different Copernicus related activities. In this case, eshape is a very inclusive community. And in this framework, the Call for Your-Based Products 2021 and the year before 2020 is really allowing additional partners and pilots with Earth observation services to be developed. Currently eshape, well, we started with 55, but now we already incorporated 7 new partners. It's based on 7 showcases. We started with 27 pilots. We onboarded 5 last year, and we're currently going to involve 5 new pilots from next year. It's a 4 years grant, started 2019 until 2023. Again, it's based on these 7 showcases spanning from thematic to renewable energies and climate change. And the main objectives behind this, I know that some of you already know eshape, but I will still go through, is really to develop operational Earth observations with and for the users, promote the uptake at national international scales and also across community of users, and enable the long-term sustainability and upscaling of the pilots and their penetrations in public and private markets, and as well to increase the awareness through tailored communication. So the eshape applications, how does this work? I know that some of you already went through this call, already saw the guide for applicants and the application form, which are the 2 main documents that are displayed on the Call for Your-Based Products 2021 webpage. Through the guide for applicants, you will be able to read what is eshape, what are the main objectives, what is requested from you in terms of future pilots. And we have the application form, which is currently the one that you will have to fill in and submit through the eshape help desk. The application form is composed of two parts. The first one described your pilot, and the second one how eshape exactly will impact and support your pilot. And then, of course, the declaration of honor. It's important to showcase also here that the help desk is the main tools in order to submit not only your questions to showcase leaders or other pilots, but also to submit your applications. And during the first call 2020, as I was mentioning before, we already incorporated 5 new pilots, among which private companies, research institutes, space agencies, which are currently benefiting from the financial and service support of the project since the second sprint already started in April 2020. Some very quick tips in order to complete this application form. Of course, eligibility first. Pick up only one showcase. You propose to contribute your pilot. Even if your pilot is transversal, of course, be sure you only pick one showcases. And from this year on, but we will touch upon it later, only make sure to focus also on the suggested thematic focus for each showcases, but we're going to see this later. Important to define your SDG goal or indicator that your pilots or products will contribute to, current link to GEO, so the group of Earth observations, and the connection that you currently have or not. Long-term vision sustainability, so how your pilots will continue, let's say, after this project, and really how eshape will support your development. So what do you need from us? Okay, so here are very nice pictures of us, the eshape experts. We can see Nico from Evenflow, Mathieu from Armin, myself, and then Eleni and Mirka from the communication team. We are all in charge of different work packages within the eshape project, and we're the main partners of the project. So Nico, it's from VP5, which is Sustainability Booster, Mathieu from the financial work package, myself, user uptake, institutional liaisons, and Eleni and Mirka, communication. I would then go directly through the main important Q&A. I will introduce quickly Nico and Mathieu, and we're going to start with the quick questions directly to Nico, if that's okay with you. Hi, Nico.
Hey there.
So as we know that since you are the leader of the Sustainability Booster work package, we know the Sustainability Booster is one of the main tools that eshape offers in order to upscale your, the Earth observation service or product. And especially in the application form, we requested a convincing market uptake strategy. One of the main questions, not only from last year, but also current, that we have received from potential applicants is, do we really need to provide a sustainability plan, or it's going to be developed with you? Do you think you can elaborate this in 2 minutes so we can give a quick answer?
Okay, well, a very quick answer would be no, you don't have to apply with a fully fledged sustainability plan or business plan. And in fact, it's one of the deliverables that is an outcome of this project. And indeed, through the Sustainability Booster, we would also provide support in developing with you that business plan for the very specific product or service that you want to bring forward with the help of eshape. So there are a number of support mechanisms within the Sustainability Booster, which includes access to knowledge that can also help you, of course, with ideas for your business plan. It's guidance and advice, not only for the business plan itself, but also maybe for your intellectual property considerations. It's guidance on investment readiness if you intend to secure further funding or finance through public or private investment. And it's showcasing your product or service to the market. So these are different components of the Sustainability Booster. And back to the question, no, you don't have to bring your fully fledged business plan, but you would receive the support, you would receive templates and guidance, expert support in developing it.
Thank you. So really for the moment now, pilot, the people interested in these applications really just have to see, to showcase how the eshape project will support them, but and then eventually later in a second process. Okay.
Yes, convincing really means you have to somehow show that you have an idea of what your market could be, what the potential users are, and that you have an idea of how you can approach these users and secure that market share for yourself. That has to be somehow convincing and matching the type of product or service that you describe.
Great, thank you, Nico. I will then go to Mathieu. So we started with Nico at the beginning of how the pilot, the issue process works in terms of application form, and then we switched to Mathieu. Mathieu is currently leading the work package on finance and administrations of eshape, and is the guy behind all the process to initiate the contract signature and receive the grant once, of course, the 5 applicants are and pilots have been selected. So Mathieu, welcome. And since you know as well, this is one of the most famous questions. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on how the process and the iter is for the future applicants?
Yes, thanks, Francesca.
Thanks,
Hello,
Mathieu.
everyone. Do you hear me well? Yes. Okay, great. So I will try to present you how to integrate the eshape project after having been selected as a new project partners. So we already did the job during the first onboarding call, and my guidelines are based on the experience we did for the last call. So based on the previous call, the administrative integration process to eshape should last between 4 to 6 months, I would say. It will start with the signature of a non-disclosure agreement between Armin and the coordinator of the project on behalf of the eshape consortium and the selected pilot partners. And the aim of this NDA is to share with the onboarded partner the eshape grant and consortium agreement, so that you will be able to read about it. That's the first step of the integration process. And then following the signing of the NDAs, we will start the formal process of adding the new partners to the eshape grant and consortium agreement, because the pilot selected will become integral partner of the eshape project. So they will have to sign both grant and consortium agreements. So for the consortium agreements, the new partners will have to make sure that we'll be able to sign it as it is, because we will not reopen the negotiation within this contract. And if you cannot sign it as it is, this will call into question your integration into the project. So you will have to check carefully if you are okay with the consortium agreement. That's really important. The integration to the consortium agreement will be done by signing an accession form in which you will have the possibility to declare your background. You will need to implement your pilot. And then we have the integration to the grant agreement. That is the contract that is signed between the coordinator on behalf of the consortium and the commission. This will be done via an amendment to the current version of the grant agreement. So the first step for the selected partner is to have a validated participant identification code, a PIC. If you already participated to H2020 project, you know what it is. If not, I will put a link in the chat and you will be able to have a look at that. Then the coordinator will send some templates to collect the requested administrative information, the pilot and partner description, as well as to prepare the budget for your pilot. I will just remind the funding rules, I would say, for the H2020 program that are applying to the eshape project. So the direct eligible costs are personnel costs, travel and subsistence, equipment, and other direct costs such as dissemination costs, consumables, IPR costs, etc. And if it is really necessary for your pilot, you can plan a limited part of subcontracting costs if you need to subcontract some tasks to external partners. And moreover, there is a flat rate of 25% of direct cost, excluding subcontracting, that covers indirect costs. Okay, the reimbursement rates are 100% of the total budget for the non-profit organization, and the funding rate is limited to 70% for the for-profit organization. The maximum funding per onboarded partner and to be shared among the pilot partners is 50,000 euros. We will not grant any additional fund to each pilot selected. And once all the information are collected and completed, I will amend the grant agreement and submit it to the EC, to EC project officer, who will review it. And if the EC is okay with the amendment to the grant agreement, we will pass through the signature process. So the onboarding partner will have to sign accession forms to the grant agreement, and then the coordinator and the EC will sign the amended grant agreement. And when all is signed, so the grant and the consortium agreement, I will be in position to transfer the respective pre-financing to each of the onboarded partner, and we decided to transfer up to 30% of the total funding per partner as pre-financing. So that's all for me, and I hope this answers the question.
It really answers. It looks like a lot of work, and actually it is because in this
it is, but
from last year.
That's my job.
Exactly. So thanks, and you've been very good at it. So thank you very much for this.
Welcome.
So I will quickly continue with the second Q&A. These are a really quick, let's say, recollection of frequently asked questions that we received from last year, but again, this year already, since we launched the call on the 7th of June. And I would really like to maybe put some more emphasis in some of these because I already through our experience before, and do please engage with the chat box in order, if you have further questions, and of course we can pick them up later, or else if not, we will be happy to answer you by email. So one of the first one is this one. So as an entity, is it possible to submit more than one application to the call for your base projects 2021, either leading it or as a partner? Question is no. Each applicant can be involved in only one application, and each applicant can only apply to one showcase, and one applications to more than one showcase won't be taken in consideration. From this year also, and I connect to the second question, which is, my product is on a topic which is not specific to a current showcase. Is it eligible? It is eligible. However, it has to be very focused on one of each of the 7 showcases. So it's either agriculture or renewable energy. It cannot be both. This is because we already have many pilots as well, and we really want to ensure that each of the showcase has a sort of traceability and the coverage, let's say, all the different topics within each showcase. So in the guide for applicants, you can really see a table with the suggested thematic focus on which your application should focus or not. Of course, it's not compulsory, but it's of course an additionality to take in consideration. Third question is, are the applicants expected to include a budget for our eshape activities? As we already received a very full answer from our colleague Nico, not for the moment. However, of course, it will be requested in a second step, and of course, all the sustainability work will be done in cooperation with one of the work packages. In terms of eligibility of this of the future applicants, you can find always in the guide for applicants the different annexes for the European from the H2020 Horizon annexes, where you can really find the different countries. And in particular, if my company is not registered in the EU, can I apply and be funded? Yes, you can. You can apply. However, you really have to check that your registration is in one of the countries, because if not, you won't receive. You will still be considered, of course, but you won't receive the fundings. And same thing for the next questions. If I can partner with a non-EU entity, which is yes, but again, only the eligible entity will receive the fundings. One of the last question is, what are the expectations requested to the selected pilots? This as well, it's very well elencated in our guide for applicants. However, the expectations are really the reflections of what the issued value offer is. Therefore, co-design. Co-design is really the co-design of the pilots of the products between the pilots itself and then work package 2, in order to really see further users who can be integrated and to which we can better design your pilot. Pilots implementations, of course, the user uptake approach, therefore how to integrate and to enter new markets that is paired with sustainability package, and of course the help desk and the communications. The expectations also that are requested from the future pilots are really both in terms of financials and technical, so both in terms of deliverable financial expectations, but as well, once you will be integrated in the consortium, you will start in any case a full process of communications with each of the work packages. We're very dynamic. There are many things to do. We're a very big consortium, but it's important to be aligned and in order to integrate very well the pilots. And we will start with a global assessment for each of the work packages to really know how we can support you. So we'll also need news. We will also need your support in order to help you. So this is really, I think, I would say the main questions that we found particularly important to share with you. Of course, again, do engage with us in the chat if you have more questions. I would now pass the floor to my communication team, so Eleni, Mirka. They will give a short demo of what the help desk is. And as you know, the help desk is the main communication tool, as they will explain to you now. So Mirka and Eleni, I will give you the floor. And
yes,
I think you can already share your screen, by the way.
Thank you, Francesca. Yes, okay. So indeed, welcome everybody. Let me, yes, I have to. Okay, so actually the eshape help desk is indeed a unique tool to ask your questions about the onboarding call. And at this point, we would like to alleviate concerns regarding the process and show you how easy and simple you can submit your request by just creating an account. So first of all, you have to create an account. And our help desk includes 4 main sections. First of all, it's knowledge base, which serves as an informational section. Community forums, which are public forums where registered users can discuss anything they want as long as it is relevant to the specific forums or subforums category description. We then have frequently asked questions, a category which by default you all know, anyone can find short answers to common questions regarding the eshape project and platform. And finally, we have the submit a request section, and this is where your attention must focus more. The request form will be the place where you will connect directly with the onboarding experts. It's simple to fill in and includes main data fields such as name, email, subject, your affiliation, and the topic of the visitor's request, which is presented in the form of a drop-down list. And there you can find and select the dedicated, sorry, one moment. I will show you here. You can find and select the dedicated category for the onboarding. You also have the option to attach files. So once you submit the request, you will be informed by email for the success delivery of your request. And at the same time, the eshape onboarding administrator is notified by email in order to monitor your request. So we strongly encourage you to contact us through the eshape help desk. If you have any questions regarding the process, of course, we are at your disposal. This is basically what you need to know.
Thank you, Mirka. Yes, we see that many people are also contacting us by email, but it's true that through this help desk is really important because it's not only us seeing all your requests, but we can engage directly with the showcase leaders as well, and eventually other pilots. And we've seen also from our previous experiences, and then also through some dedicated interviews that we had with previous winners, of how also this engagement through the help desk was important, because also getting in touch with the dedicated showcase leader was an added value, really to understand if this suggested Earth observation product could really fit or not, or especially if it could be, for example, better to put it in another showcase or another showcase, exactly. So I think it's very valuable, and do not hesitate, exactly, again, to contact us, either Mirka or myself, on these tools. But it's very straightforward, as you saw. I would say that it's 2:40. We've just concluded both the second Q&A and this short demo. So I would like really to open now the doors, let's say, if you have any questions from the audience. I think it's really the right time. Or if you feel like, just put them in the chat box, and I will be happy to reply. And yes, otherwise we can continue and still see some other questions. Of course, this call was just launched on the 7th of June. It will be open until the 3rd of September, 5 p.m. chat. So do not hesitate during this time to contact us to fill in the application form. Usually it's a very straightforward applications, shouldn't take way much more than 45, 1 hour. The application form is really, let's say, user-oriented, and it's very based on the development of your pilots, and it really helps and supports you also in supporting in thinking and developing your pilot as well, as our previous winners told us. So I think we did a good job on this.
Francesca, we have one
yeah.
question.
Go
Can
ahead.
we join eshape calls with TRL8 product which still not offered as commercial product?
Okay, so this is a good point. Thanks. TRL is 8 from this year, which means that the product should be almost ready to go to the market. Of course, during this second sprint, the sprint will be shorter, but it will be very much focused on the user uptake and the sustainability booster. So it means that your product should already be, let's say, ready to go to market. Nico, do you have any further comments on this through your work package?
No, not exactly that. Yeah, you don't have to have your solution as a product or service on the market at that point, but TRL8 actually implies that it's not necessarily in the market. If you have already test users, pilot users, that's of course fine. If you don't, that's not an issue. You just have to prove your point that the readiness level from the technology perspective is indeed 8.
And also in the application form, we also ask if they have a sort of proofs of concept as well to present, or already maybe a link that we can see in order to support, of course, this TRL. It's this year is really to show and focus, especially on these 2 work packages. So work package 4 on user uptake, and complemented with VP5 on sustainability. So how to sustain it through 3 years. So thank you, Nico, as well for your contribution. Okay, Eleni, do you see anything else? Otherwise,
yes. How is the co-design approach and the TRL8 go together? Design of an application at TRL8 is usually very advanced.
Yes, let's say, in fact, this is the answer I was bringing before. Since you are already TRL8, it should imply that your applications maybe still not already on the market, but goes to, so it's already sort of designed already. And from this print, let's say, it's way much more focused on user uptake and sustainability booster, while before we really start, since also the pilots would have had more times in order to develop and co-design. It's true that with TRL, it should be already well co-designed. So this time we're really focused on how to penetrate new markets, on how to reach new community of users. The idea also of this project is to reach new markets and communities that maybe are also not our observation knowledge. And therefore, this is really our support and direct contribution that both myself and Nico we will give to these pilots. So I hope I answered, and of course, Matteo or Nico, feel free to join.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Yes, and now we are advanced in the project, and while co-design was a major aspect for the very first 27 pilots that were at a very early stage, the newly onboarded pilots from last year were already quite more mature. And of course, now that we go closer and closer near the end of the project and expect a minimum of TRL8, the co-design in the sense of defining the product or service will have less of a role, and there's more of a, it's already co-design, but in the business plan development, for example, it's also a joint effort in the end. But yeah, the question is very justified. We still stick to the approach of co-design, but indeed more mature applicants that we also require will put less effort in there than in the sustainability of the service to commercialize.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe it's not the co-design as to cook as we know before, but again, it will be finding, for example, or expanding to new users. So it's also, again, a sort of co-design, but in a more mature and business plan, let's say, point of view. Okay. So I was seeing again some other questions maybe that could be interesting into see here. So important dates, we touch upon them, the application form as well. What are the next steps, let's say, that I think could be also important. So once the 3rd of April, the 3rd of September, we're going to finish we're going to close the call. The applications will go through first eligibility check and then an application evaluations from a jury that will be involved, issue partners and external independent experts. And then by October, sorry, we will be able to select the final 5 and to present them. So we are really approaching like the end. So I don't know if there is anything else on which you would like me to comment maybe, or
Francesca, I would like to just remind to everyone, we are sending the link to the dedicated page at the eshape website about the onboarding call. And just to remind that they can find the guide for applicants there, the application form, the manual, the user's manual for the help desk, any kind of information they would like to, they have access.
And also the frequently asked questions document is also there with complemented with further questions. And in case these documents will be again an open document this year, so we'll further questions that will come up during this month, we will integrate them so that everybody can have an eye on that.
Okay, 3rd of September is the deadline.
3rd of September, So I think we really covered the main thing. Also, we all been involved. The people that you've seen here presenting have been very much involved in this process. And of course, behind us, there are many other people as well. So I really want to thank everybody on this. And I don't see any other questions in the chat. So I will launch again. Don't be shy. Any questions is very important questions also for us. But if not, do not worry, and you can contact us by help desk. Okay.
Thank you, Francesca.
So I will close it here. Again, thank you so much to, well, first of all, to the attendees. Tricky time. I know that many of you also already start going on holidays, so I hope this can capture a little bit the main important things before holidays. We will be working in any case, so we will see all of your applications coming in. And again, thanks to you, Mirka and Eleni, for your support and valuable insights, Nico and Mathieu. So I will keep contacts with you, of course.
So bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Thanks everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.